If you're a beginner to yoga and you want to increase flexibility in your hamstrings while also alleviating some tension from your lower back, this practice is just for you. My name is Katie. Thank you so much for joining me. It's really great to have you here. If you're a beginner to yoga, you might grab some cushions, pillows, or yoga blocks if you have them. And while you're doing that, I'll let you know that this video is part of a playlist of 5 20-minute videos, each focusing on a different part of the body. So that playlist is there for you, so you always know which practice to do next. If you're ready, we'll get started in a seat on the mat. This is where you can take those cushions or yoga blocks and sit up on them. Just make yourself as comfortable as you can be here. Maybe lengthening up through your spine, relaxing your shoulders, closing your eyes, or just softening your gaze here. Take a second to loosen up your jaw and relax all of the tiny little muscles around your face. And together we'll take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, let go of not only the air, but any other energy that might be weighing you down today. Keep breathing in deeply and taking nice long exhales. And just taking a few more breaths here. Give yourself time to arrive into your practice. Let go of anything that is no longer serving you. We'll take one last big breath in together here. And as you exhale, you can gently start to open up the eyes again. And from here, we'll make our way into a pose called tabletop pose. So you're coming onto all fours. When you're there, spread your fingers wide apart. That will help to protect your wrists. And then we always want to stack our joints on top of each other when we're practicing yoga. So make sure your shoulders are above your wrists, your knees directly below your hips. Once you're ready then, press yourself away from your mat and we'll do a few rounds of cat and cow. As you inhale, point your tailbone up, drop your belly towards your mat, bring your chest forward and look up. As you exhale, point your tailbone down, round your spine, tuck your chin to your chest and drop your head. Inhale, tailbone points back up, belly drops down again, chest forward, eyes up. Exhale, point the tailbone down, round your spine, tuck your chin to your chest and drop your head. Keep going for a few more rounds here, moving at your own pace. We're getting ourselves warmed up here, but these poses are also a really great way to release any tension from your lower back. Just a few more. Each exhale is rounding you down into cat pose. Each inhale is taking you back up, looking up in your cow pose. Now you can pause when you're back into tabletop pose, back in that neutral spine. If your wrists need a break here, feel free just to take the weight off of them for a moment. And then we'll meet back in our tabletop pose, moving into our hamstrings now. So let's bring the right foot back behind us, keeping your toes on your mat or on the floor. And then just start to rock nice and slowly forward and back. So straight away you'll probably start to feel a little bit of tightness in the back of your leg. And sometimes it can feel nice to pause and just press that tightness out of your body. Just do whatever works for you here. And then when you're ready, take that right foot all the way over to the left side of your mat. Look back over your left shoulder and take a really big breath in here. As you exhale, we'll start to bring this right foot all the way forward, planting it in between the hands. So we're just coming into a simple lunge here. You might walk your back knee back behind you. Your back toes can either stay curled on the mat or the top of the foot can come to the mat. Depends what way your kneecap is, whatever will feel best for you. So just take a second here to figure it out. Now we're going to start to slowly walk our hands back closer to us, straightening out this front leg, bringing the hips back as close to that back foot as feels comfortable. Maybe your front toes will point up towards the sky here. So we're really starting to feel that stretch throughout the right hamstring. You can stay here, just staying still, breathing into that tightness. Or if you want to go a little bit further, take a breath in to bring your fingertips onto your mat and look forward. As you exhale, your palms might come onto the mat and you can gently drop your nose towards your right knee. We'll just keep following the breath, inhaling to come up, looking forward, exhaling, palms down, nose towards the knee. Just a few more like this. And when you're ready, you can start to take a bend into that front knee, fingers walking forward again, back into your lunge. From here, right knee comes back to the mat and we're back into our tabletop pose. We'll repeat that now on the left side. So your left toes come back. You're rocking gently forward and back, finding those little pockets of tightness in your hamstring, and then just using the movement to release that tightness. Your left foot is going to travel all the way over to the right side of your mat now. Look back over your right shoulder. Take a big breath in. And then as you exhale, left foot makes its way in between the hands and we're coming into our lunge. When you're ready, start to walk your fingertips back. Straightening up that front leg, maybe toes point up. And then you've got your option just to stay here, or you can inhale to come onto your fingertips and look forward. Exhale, palms down, nose towards knee. Now if you have yoga blocks here, you can always rest your hands on yoga blocks. It will make this pose a little bit more accessible. If not, it's okay, just do what you can. Whenever you're ready, start to make your way back to your lunge. And then back to tabletop pose. From here, we're coming into downward facing dog. So your hands will be a little bit closer to the top of your mat now, fingers still spread wide apart. Curl your toes onto your mat, lift your knees, and then start to drag your hips up and back. Release your head towards your mat if that feels okay. And before we get into the pose here, we'll just paddle the feet so we can really stretch out those hamstrings. You might sway your hips from side to side. And again, you're just finding that tightness and seeing how you can help your body out here. How can you release that tension? Now we're going to find a few moments of stillness in our down dog. And I know downward dog isn't the easiest. It's not as easy as it looks. So we'll just try our best here. Don't worry about how it looks. Focus on how you're feeling. Take a bend into your knees and point your tailbone up towards the ceiling. Release your head towards your mat. So maybe your ears come in line with your biceps. Keep pushing yourself away from your hands and take a few really deep belly breaths in and out. You're stretching all through the backs of your legs, stretching your back here too. Send your breath wherever it's needed the most. Heels don't have to touch the mat, but you can keep asking them to go towards the mat, and that'll help you to stretch your hamstrings even further. Take one more full breath in. As you exhale, start to walk your feet towards your hands, making our way into a standing forward fold here. Feet are hip distance apart and they're parallel. Keep a bend in your knees. Release your hands towards the mat, or they can hold opposite elbows, and then allow your head to come heavy, dropping towards the mat. And we're going to stay here for a few breaths. This is the ultimate pose for your hamstrings and your lower back. We're targeting both at the same time. And just let your breath comb through your hamstrings, getting rid of anything that's caught up there. And then let gravity drop your upper body towards your mat, so you get a nice stretch into your lower back. If your hamstrings are shaking, mine are too, so just try stick with it a few more breaths. Before we move on, check in on that jaw again. See if you can loosen it. See if you can make your facial muscles a little bit softer. Maybe you can sink a little lower to your mat. We'll come out of the pose nice and slowly now. So just take a big bend into your knees. We're coming back to sit on the mat so you can guide your hips down. And then bring your legs out long in front of you. So take a moment here, you can shake off your legs or do whatever you need to do. We'll be sitting on the mat for the next portion of this practice. So as I mentioned earlier, sitting up on cushions, pillows, yoga blocks is going to be much easier, especially if you're a beginner. So we're coming into a half shoelace pose. You can do that by bringing your right foot all the way over to the left hip. So as far back as you can comfortably get that foot. Your knees will be relatively stacked on top of each other, but don't worry too much about that. Now this might be enough just to stay here like this with your spine nice and long. But if you want to go a little bit deeper and really target your lower back here too, on an exhale, start to walk your hands away from you, maybe dropping your nose down towards that top knee. Take your time with this pose. We'll be here for a few minutes, so you have lots of time. Just patiently waiting for the hamstring and maybe the calf muscle as well here to open up. And then on each exhale, maybe you can start to sink a little bit deeper. If your mind is pulling you away from your body, that's completely normal. Just find a sensation or find your breath wherever it is. And just encourage your mind to become interested again in what's happening internally. To come back out of this fold now, slowly use your hands to press yourself back up. We'll come into a brief twist here, so keep this leg as it is. Bring your right hand in behind your tailbone, as close to it as you can get it. And then that right arm will prop up your spine nice and long. Your left arm is just coming over to the outside of this right knee. Inhale to lengthen again. And as you exhale, slowly start to twist. Maybe you can look back over your back shoulder. Each inhale lengthens. Each exhale helps you to twist a little bit deeper. And we're just squeezing out any tension from your lower back. You can make your way back to center. Let's undo that leg. Give everything a little shake out. And then of course we'll take it to the other side. So now your left foot comes all the way over to the outside of your right hip. You're staying here nice and tall in your spine, or exhale to walk the hands forward, dropping nose to knee. And again, it'll take a few minutes for this side of the body to open up. You're just patiently waiting. And your only job is to keep observing what's happening in your body. And try your best to just disengage from any of those worldly things that are popping into your head. Preparing to come out of the pose now, slowly bring yourself back up. Bring your left hand in behind your lower back, nice and straight to the spine. Right arm comes to the outside of that top leg, and then we're very slowly starting to twist, looking back behind us. And this pose is like when you wring out a wet dishcloth. You're squeezing out anything that's not needed in your body here. Now let's make our way back. You can undo, and we'll do a few windshield wipers here. So have your feet about hip distance apart, maybe wider. Exhale to drop the knees to one side. Inhale to pick them up, and exhale to go to the opposite side. Just getting rid of any little bits of tension that might have accumulated in your hips. And then when you're ready, you can make your way back into your most comfortable way to sit on your mat, or you can always lie down here. It's definitely recommended to let your body soak up all the benefits of those poses. And if you want to do that, I do have a 10-minute guided relaxation that you can go and do now. Otherwise, make yourself comfy in your seat, close your eyes. Lengthen your spine, relax your shoulders, loosen your jaw, and soften your facial muscles. We'll end our practice just as we started by taking deep breaths in, long breaths out to discard whatever you're not taking with you into the rest of your day. Whenever you're ready, you can return to your normal breath. Open the eyes again. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope you enjoyed this 20-minute video. If you did, it really helps me out if you can leave it a thumbs up, a comment, or subscribe to the channel. I would love to practice with you again in the future. Don't forget about that playlist for your next practice. I'll see you there, but until then, goodbye.